July and an abundance of riches. We've had quite a lot of rain just now. I just walk along this retaining wall border. There's a lovely hibiscus. Amazing, the so-called Chinese foxglove is still carrying on flowering. 2 months. Another hibiscus, bluebird. A helenium in the back. Chinese banana. And another lovely hibiscus. Penstemon. And my favorite thing, the tuberous cosmos. Comes back year after year, collected in Argentina. Along this walk here, apart from the great giant dahlia given to me by a patient many, many years ago. Her husband was in the Royal Marines. He was very old and was in bed most of the time, but he insisted on wearing his Royal Marines beret, even in bed, which was amazing, really. Quite a character. There we are. So that's my memory of the dahlia here. Massive, great thing it is. Anyway, slightly more sophisticated in my mind is this wonderful hydrangea which I collected in Sichuan in China many, many years ago. And it's really grown tremendously and flowers its socks off. It's a hydrangea aspera. And I see a bumblebee there enjoying it. But I think it makes a wonderful, wonderful sight. As we walk down here, our eye is caught by this weeping small multi-stemmed tree from New Zealand. It's actually a broom, and it's got these rather extraordinary caterpillar-like flowers which are scattered higgledy-piggledy on the branches, pointing every which way, sometimes downwards but sometimes sideways. Pulling away from it and going to Mexico. Here's a charming little dahlia. This is a dahlia called Murkii. Dainty. Somebody's taking it easy in the shade. A nicely groomed dog, aren't you, Bertie? Just as well in the hot weather. Now, what's happening to Wally's wattle that we saw earlier in flower? Well, it's now producing masses of seeds, which is interesting. One could try sowing them. Patachekii, Acacia patachekii. They're moving across to this Chinese fig. Doesn't look much like a fig as we know it, does it? But the giveaway is the little figlets, which you can see. Whether they will come to anything this year, I don't know. They never have before. They just sort of drop off after a while. But anyway, it's intriguing. This is Ficus heteromorpha. Standing next to Pan, I get this rather sweet and slightly sickly smell. And I see it's coming from this massive plant from Australia. This is Lomatia fraseri. It's got these small but highly scented white flowers. Let's come a bit closer to one little group here. It's formed a dirty great tree. And these funny little honeysuckly flowers. Growing in the foothills of the Himalayas is this, what looks like a thistle. But it's a thistle with elegance, because here is the flower. Isn't that gorgeous? A lovely pink and white combo. Morina longifolia, this is called. And if you want to risk getting prickled, the foliage is quite nicely aromatic. The thing about this garden is that there are many nooks and crannies to investigate. There's a bed here, and lurking behind it is an intriguing woodlander. This is Spigelia marylandica. With its funny little flowers, the yellow tips at the end of the yellow petals with the red bracts around them. From the southeastern United States. My doggy friends. There do seem to be rather a lot of daylilies about, masses in fact, but this I think is exquisite. This one is called Lilio asphodelus, which is the most beautiful name. Of course, the daylily, because they're called daylilies, the flowers only last a day or two and then they're over, but more come and take their place. By the time it's been flowering for a while, it gets a little untidy because you get all the old flowers as well as the new ones. But here's a little example of the lovely fresh flowers, early summer display, and sweetly scented. Gorgeous. Well, let's look at this hydrangea here, because I want to show you why in Devon we call them changeables, because depending on the soil they're growing in, they can be a different colour. Now this one is a gorgeous sort of deep mauve colour, growing on acid soil, and the true flowers are in their blue and with white stamens. The whole is a very pleasing colour combination, I think, and the blueness is definitely a sign of acidity in the soil. We'll show you something now in contrast. Now, how about this? This is a cutting I took from the bush we've just seen, and it is growing by a wall, old wall in the wall garden, no doubt full of lime mortar rubble, making the ground alkaline. Well, you can see now why it's called Lady in Red and not Lady in Purple. There's a sweet, rather cloying scent in the air here, and that's due to this flowering tree, this myrtle from South America, absolutely covered in its highly scented and, as I say, rather cloying scented flowers. It used to be called Temu divaricatum, and the trunks are very attractive as well. Anyway, stop press. The latest name for this is Temu Cruikshanksii, a combination of the two previous names. Oh dear, you've got to keep up, you know. So there we are, gosh. Next to that lovely hydrangea serrata is this low-growing mound, spreading mound of a hypericum. This is a rather unusual hypericum with these extraordinary flowers that seem to have some sort of a pincushion effect in the middle of them. This is Hypericum frondosum. It is a native of the southeastern United States. Good boy. Going through here, we're going to see this amazingly wide-spreading shrub from the southern states of the USA. It suckers away, that's why it's got so wide. This is a horse chestnut, or buckeye, called Aesculus parviflora, small-flowered, but then maybe the individual flowers are small, but it certainly makes an impact. And in fact, I think these flowers themselves bear close inspection because they've got these lovely little red-tipped stamens. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Talking of hydrangea asperas, one mustn't miss this one, very appropriately called hot chocolate. As you can see, the backing of the leaves is this chocolate brown colour. And it makes a wonderful, wonderful shrub. Large. Well, I'll leave you with this lovely combination that I enjoy. The Albizia, Gladiolus and Watsonias.